Let's Talk Nation. I'm your man, Rod Love, and with me this evening is none other than the General.
Once again, it's on. Hey, people think I don't exist when I'm coming to the studio, man.
but see, we Doc and I think we do a good job letting folks know you're on special assignment, man.
Man, y'all do, man. Y'all do a great job just all the way around, though, man. All the way around.
You're right.
Hey, I want no trouble about you tonight, Doc.
Oh man, Doc brings trouble every night.
Hey, I want no trouble out of you tonight.
Man, hey, listen. My weekend was so sweet. Trust me, I came back just as mellow.
You ain't got no time for it?
Mm-mm.
No. Hey, man, I got to tell you, man, my weekend, man, was incredible, man. I actually went home to celebrate.
Home in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To celebrate me and my siblings, the neighborhood. Man, I saw friends I hadn't seen in 40 years to celebrate my mom's 87th birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Man, I tell you, it was. And then we had live entertainment, man.
They had Rod out in the backyard dancing.
Oh, you saw that, really? Doc? You saw that, Doc?
Yeah.
You was cutting the rug.
Hey, hey, Doc, you didn't tell him who I was dancing with.
Wasn't it the nephew?
My
the great nephew? Huh?
My great niece.
The niece. Okay.
Hey, 4 or 5 years old.
Uh-huh.
Man, she was out there stepping.
That's all right, man. That's all right. But listen, man, for those who are just tuning in, you're tuned in to two of the most influential voices in Central Florida on the Monday Night Podcast. Brother Love, Greg Jackson, and Doc Polite. I always say two of the most influential voices, but I got to throw Doc in there now. But so three of the most influential voices in Central Florida on the Monday Night Podcast. Brother Love, Dr. Polite, and Greg Jackson. If you want to be a part of tonight's podcast, all you got to do is hit, hey, what is the number, man? See, y'all confuse me when y'all have me in this room.
See, Mondo throw me up. 407-921-6195.
921. What's that number right there?
See, Greg, you got glasses on too, and you don't
ain't real glasses. It ain't real glasses. It ain't real glasses.
Yeah, 407-921-6195. And speaking of, you say
I ain't finished that. So 407-921-6195. If you want to be a part of that show, all you got to do is hit that number, or you can use your little Twitter fingers and communicate with Brother Love, Dr. Polite, and Greg Jackson. So Brother Love, let's get it on. Why?
Hey, blame Armando. Let's blame you. We'll blame Armando.
I feel like I have to be dignified when I sit in this room, man. I don't feel like I can, cut loose and be myself when I'm in this room.
You can still cut loose. See,
it's too relaxing, man.
People forgot we had two studios, Studio A, Studio B.
It's too relaxing in here, man.
So you like the one where you?
Yeah, I got to be sitting up. I want to be, on the edge of my seat, ready to attack, man.
But you gonna be on the edge of your seat in here too. And based on the things we're gonna talk about, I think we're gonna get everybody on the edge of their seat.
Now, absolutely. And listen, so also tonight, because we're going to talk about the big pressing story for tonight. But one of the things also that we're going to talk about, because we should have a special guest who's going to be joining us later on in the show. We've talked about this issue before, like at sporting events, youth events, basketball games, baseball games, football games, and how these parents and these coaches and these players are attacking officials and refs and things like that. And so tonight, hopefully we're going to start a conversation with a ref who wants to have a conversation about how unsafe it is for referees right now in this environment, and some recommendations on things that can be done to keep refs as well as other participants in sporting events safe.
You're right. And Greg, not that it matters, but is this a ref? Basketball, football, what? Football. Okay.
Football. Yeah.
Because and social media is a place where a lot of people get their information from now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, think about the kid that slammed the referee on the football field. I don't know if y'all remember that. Think about Cam Newton. Even at Cam Newton's camp. I mean, people they don't know how to act nowadays.
But man, it's sad that you have to get to a point where you legislate that type of behavior.
It's unfortunate, yeah. It's very unfortunate.
And think about this, Greg. And you know what? No, I'm not going to go there because we're going to wait for our guest to come. But man, that opens up the door to a whole bunch of other things when you talk about leadership, guiding and directing these young people. So
young people and coaches now. I mean, now the adults are just as bad as the kids.
Yeah.
Remember that youth group, and this is a little bit off topic, but just from the standpoint of who's leading our kids, our youth right now in sporting events. Remember those kids that came from out of state and went to Dick's Sporting Goods and stole like some stuff from the sporting goods store, and the coach was like, "Well, don't really hold them accountable for what they're doing." Yeah,
that was from Philadelphia.
It was Philadelphia. Yeah. It wasn't Polk County, was it?
It wasn't Polk.
Right. In the wrong place.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, he remember, and it's coming back.
Yeah.
And then the coach showed up and said, "Give the kids a break." And I don't know, man. That whole thing.
Yeah. All right, but so I just wanted to tickle
You
a
did.
topic that's gonna be coming up,
You
man.
did.
Yeah. So
Hey, but hey, Doc, man, what you get into this weekend? I know you were on a mission.
Well, me and the wife got us a 4th floor balcony suite on the beach.
oh, which beach? You don't want to disclose that?
Ormond. We just ran over to get relaxation because we're full-time caregivers now. So when we get those chances to take those little dashes and breaks, we do so. It was a great weekend. No computer, none of that stuff. We just went old school and enjoyed each other's company. And
how the restaurants over there, Doc?
We went to a place called Hull Hull Seafood. Now everybody say it, it's supposed to be the best over there, but I told my wife, I say I gotta find the hood because the hood got the real fish sandwich. so we for the life of us, we couldn't find the hood over there in Ormond, so we went to Hull's.
I don't think it's no hood. Hey, listen, I don't think it's no hood in Ormond, man. I don't think it might be some trailer parks, but ain't no hood.
Hey, Hull's was nice, but that ain't it. It wasn't hidden. You know that fish sandwich with the hot sauce and the mustard on it.
And the mustard, yeah.
I couldn't find that.
And the Marita white bread.
oh yeah. I had lettuce and tomatoes and all that on my fish sandwich. I'm like, no, this ain't it.
But that's taking it back home.
But that place was crowded, so it must be something for the folks over there.
Yeah. General, tell me, what did you get into this weekend, man?
I mean, so I'm just coming off of a trial. I wasn't at my best because I was tired. So I actually rested this whole weekend. Okay. And that's something I normally don't do. But this whole weekend, I was on the sofa, relaxing, resting, sleeping. And so I came back bigger and deeper. That's why I was like, y'all got me in the wrong studio now because I'm well rested. I want to stand on some tables.
Hey,
right
Doc,
now.
At least he's not, going in his garage, man, and doing one arm push-ups and then bringing them on the show to show me and you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What happened to that?
Oh, it's still happening.
Okay. You just ain't making a fitness show anymore.
Listen, it's still happening. I'm still getting the workout. But you know what, though? As I get older, my workouts are revolving or evolving. Excuse me, not real, but evolving around my joints and my muscles because I know there's certain things I can't do because back in the day. I mean, I'm squatting 600, leg pressing 1,200, 1,400 pounds, benching 464, 465. I mean, so I was deep into it. I mean, I was doing straight leg deadlifts of 500 some odd pounds. So I've always been like a heavy lifter, but my joints and things can't handle that type of weight now. So I am more cognizant of the workouts that I'm doing with lighter weights, higher repetitions, and more of the supersets as opposed to single body part workouts now.
But see, you're doing something that your mind has been conditioned and that's pushing your body. Some of us, we let our mind let it go. But you know what? One of the things, man, and I'm gonna say this, and then we can move on. But going back home, I saw guys that I hadn't seen in 40 years. My college teammates came over from West Palm and Fort Lauderdale, and one of the things everybody could agree on is Father Time is undefeated.
It is undefeated. You ain't lying about that.
Man, and it was interesting, man, just guys that grew up in the neighborhood. We all were talking about, man, you remember? And they started pointing to the street lights, in front of the house I grew up in and saying, y'all remember that? And I'm looking what are they talking about? And then the guy said, those street lights. And we all knew what he was talking about. I mean, those back in the day, I mean, we had to be in the house before the street lights went off. We also talked about when we had our disagreements. We might have had our fisticuffs, and the next day everybody was all right. Nobody got shot. And then some of the people that in the neighborhood that came over to celebrate my mom's birthday, they're up in their age too, and they were like, "Hey, Lil Rod, I remember when I got you in trouble with your mama and you got a whooping," and I'm like, "Yeah, I remember that too." But those are the kind of things, man, that were the building blocks, man.
So wait, they call you Lil Rod still?
Now I call my nephew Lil Rod, but they still call me Lil Rod.
So when I go back, go back to Taylor County, Perry, Florida, I have a nickname, and I was at a trial not too long ago in December. As a matter of fact, I was in a trial, and I'm walking through a hotel, in Alachua County, Florida, and somebody called me by my nickname, and I knew immediately where they were from. If they know that name, I know exactly where they're. Oh, you either family or you from Perry, Taylor County, Florida.
Hey Doc, you notice he didn't say what the nickname was.
What is it?
I don't want nobody on Let's Talk Nation calling me out. I got to try to figure out if they real or not. Nah, bro.
Junebug.
Junebug. Oh, there you go.
I ain't no Junebugs in my family.
There you go, Doc. Hey, let me move y'all along.
I never had a nickname. So
no, you got a nickname now. Hey, you got a nickname now. Everybody know you as Doc. Every time somebody, hey, what's up with Doc?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
See, that's a nickname that you wear with honor, right?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. So
Nah, man, you Doc, man. Hey, listen, bro, you Doc to us.
Yeah.
I
don't know. My sister had one. I'll never tell that because it was she just born geeky and can't talk. But it's so crazy. It never made sense when we were kids. She was trying to say my name and mispronounced it so bad, but my family they know it triggers me. So, only one got away with it was my aunt that just passed, and she was 93, and she can call me that name. That's the only person I answer to.
Mm-hmm. But tell you what, y'all, let's break into some news, man, that is first and foremost on everybody's mind. This is something that took place, and it made America, not just America, it made the world pause.
Listen, anytime you have anytime you have an assassination attempt on the president, that is going to be world news, especially in the United States, where the last time there was I was about to say the last time there was a legitimate attempt on the president's life was Ronald Reagan, but actually it was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania. But this past weekend was the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And while they were at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, most of the correspondents are there. About 2,600 people are there. They're gathered in the convention hall of the Hilton Hotel, or whatever that hotel is, which, interestingly enough, is the same hotel where Ronald Reagan was shot in front of.
You're right.
Which is very interesting. And while Donald Trump and Vice President Vance, Pete Hegseth,
agency
Patel,
heads, everybody was there. Yeah.
A guy from California, from Torrance, California, if I recall correctly, runs down the hallway, runs past a Secret Service checkpoint with was it a 9mm, Doc? 9mm,
a rifle, a 9.
Well, not no rifle, a shotgun.
Shotgun, okay.
A shotgun, a 9mm, and 3 knives, and luckily was detained. And as he was being detained or stopped, whatever, he said that he was going to kill the president. And luckily, and I'm gonna say luckily because no one wants to be on duty when something happens to the president. The president was actually President Trump was actually on the floor below, but they could hear the commotion in that ballroom. And so, this is world news, as you said, Brother Love, world news.
And but I guess the conversation, and just really to open up the conversation, we're seeing political violence starting to go to levels we've never seen before.
Yeah. Well, in this country, at least.
Yeah.
And in modern times, because now remember, like I said, you had Reagan. Before that, you had John F. Kennedy. You also had Robert F. Kennedy after John F. Kennedy. You had other political figures. So in the 1960s and 1950s, particularly the 1960s, I mean, it was as if political figures were being hunted, for lack of a better term. But now in this modern age, you're right, political violence has gotten to a point to where it's almost, I don't want to say commonplace, but it's to the point now where people are just wanting to blame, the folks that they shouldn't be blaming in this particular in this particular instance, if you ask me. So.
And what I've been hearing, and Greg, I don't know if you and Doc have been paying attention, because that's where people get their news from, a lot of the talking heads, but they get it from various places.
Yeah.
And if you're tuning into a talking head that is not tampering down this level of violence, then you know what you're gonna get.
Right. Yeah. Now you can't. Yeah. Listen, you can't ramp things up at this point. You can't say things like, oh, that's what you get. So it was one. I forgot what agency it was that said another failed attempt on the president's life. Too bad, or something to that nature. Regardless of if you like Donald Trump or not, regardless of if you like Barack Obama or not, but regardless if you like George Bush or not, or Joe Biden or not, no one should be okay with the president of these United States having an assassination attempt against them.
You're right.
That is what third world nations and anarchy, that's what that looks like. That should not be here.
Great, but there's a lot of questions out there, and obviously they're coming out in drips, but people are asking the question, how close did this guy get? Because we saw the video of him running past the checkpoint.
Yeah.
But you would imagine that it's layers of security before. I mean, so do you Doc know anything about?
Well, like I said, he was on the floor above where the actual dinner was taking place, but still, that's still close.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still close. And let's talk about the guy just a little bit. Normally we don't talk about the suspects in these cases, but I find this to be rather interesting who this guy is. I mean, so you had Luigiani, whatever his name is, that shot the CEO of United Health.
Yeah.
Similarly, this guy from California, but I mean, Luigiani was from somewhere else. Maggiano, whatever his name is, I can't even remember his name. But this guy was from California. He was an electrical engineer major or graduate, and he was teaching at this place called C2 as a tutor, and had just been named Teacher of the Month for this particular agency or for this particular facility or whatever you want to call it. So this is a smart guy. So we have smart guys. This isn't some guy who was in his basement or in his mom's basement listening to Johnny Al-Qaeda. Remember, like back in those days. This is a guy who's a sharp guy, smart guy, whose life is not forever changed because of what he's done.
You're right. Absolutely. Hey, General, we have a call in with us now. Caller, you're with Let's Talk Nation. You got some commentary for us?
Yes, sir. This is Jerome Lowry. How y'all gentlemen doing today?
Hey, Mr. Lowry, how you doing? I'm sorry, how you doing, Coach?
All right, I'm doing all right, Attorney.
And so listen. So you're a day early and a dollar ahead, man.
Okay, all right.
But listen, you all good. So we're just sitting here. We're talking about the assassination attempt on President Trump this past weekend. But I tell you what, we had just kind of talked about the topic that you were going to be coming in talking about. So, Brother Love, you think now's as good a time as
Yeah, we can.
Now's as good a time as
yeah.
So Coach Rock, he and I, we've known each other for a number of years. He knows me as Brother Jackson. I know him as Brother Lowry. All right, but he told me, call me Coach. Don't call me Jerome. Don't call me brother. Call me Coach Rock. And Coach Rock is a referee. And he and I were talking one day, and he brought up an issue and a topic that I kind of thought about, but I did not understand the full impact of what this was doing in our society. So, Coach, I'm gonna turn it over to you right now because you are an official, right? You're a ref for basketball, right? I mean, for football, right?
Yes, I'm a certified official with CFOA, the Central Florida Officials Association. I've been refereeing for the last 17 years.
And talk to us. I mean, we see all the time, or not all the time, but more frequently, we've been seeing on the news, television, how at even little league games, high school games, and things of that nature, where crowds get out of control, and now even players are starting to get out of control, and referees are kind of the targets of what's taking place. Talk to us about what you see, what your experience has been.
Okay. First of all, just to let you a little quick background about me. I've been coaching. First of all, I started coaching when I was 19. I coached for a little over 20 years from rec ball, and I did a little bit of high school, and then I turned around and started officiating. So I see it on both ends, and by being a referee, we cannot control the crowd. But do you know who controls the crowd overall? It's the coaching staff. That's where it starts at. And that's where it starts at. And when the coaches go to complaining, guess who go to complaining? Then the ball players go to complaining. And then it filters from there all the way up to the stand.
To the parents and
And the thing about it is, you know, you as an official, you always have to be on your best behavior. A coach may say, "Oh, ref, that's a BSing call, da-da-da, whatnot." But we have to say, "Okay, well, coach, this is what we have." Well, I don't agree with it. But then now, here it is, he's going to look for that call all the time, which is, I don't like. So when it starts from the coaching staff, and then it filters to the kid. And like I say, then it filters all the way upstairs. We cannot control the crowd, but we got to have, these coaches got to be accountable. You know, that's in high school and most definitely in rec ball.
So Coach, let me ask you, Coach, let me ask you this question. You're coaching what level? Is it high school, little league, or what level?
Okay, with me, I referee high school. I referee high school football, high school basketball. That's girls and boys. I do high school flag football, and I also do recreation ball. That's that's your Pop Warner leagues and your Florida Elite leagues, those recreation leagues and everything else of that nature. And I do a little recreational basketball. So I'm pretty much on the go. And then I just added to my legacy is that I'm doing track and field now. So, but and that's where we're at with it.
Okay, so you're pretty much all around referee. But let me ask you this question, and Attorney Jackson, you're familiar with this as well. You know, you have legislators that are required every year to go through ethics training.
That's true. Yeah.
Are the coaches required to go through a level of training that helps them not just control themselves, but to help de-escalate, the home team, if you would?
Yes. Yes, they have our coaches meeting with the coaches, and I know that the ADs have, from a little bit on the part that I know, the ADs and the coaches in high school, they do have coaches meeting and everything else of that nature. But everything is yes, okay until that ball is kicked off.
So let me ask now, that coaches meeting and the ADs meeting though, is that before the game, or is that like actual training of the coaches of, hey, listen, this year this is what the expectation is, and if you cross this line, this is what you can expect? Do they have that level, or just before the game meetings?
Okay, now on that part right there, the only thing that I know, be honest with you, gentlemen, is that they do a lot of training off season.
Okay.
They come together all season, because that's up in the office part. So, but I know they do a lot of training all season, going through ethics classes, what they're going to do, this, that, and the third. So I'm not really a part of that part. But only thing that I know, and for Pop Warner, for rec ball, they do have coaches meeting and have them to be certified as coaches. So they do talk to them about it and everything else. But again, once that ball is kicked off, everything is out the window.
So now you've been a coach and you've been an official. Why do you think, if they're getting this talk or this training, that the breakdown comes once they're in the heat of battle? I mean, why do you think that happens?
Okay, for one, you get in high school, you got some coaches is fighting for their job. I'm just be honest with you. You got some coaches are fighting for their job. A school might be 2-8. The AD might say, well, okay, we'll give you another year. So, that's how I got. And when I was trained, they say, we got to be on our best behavior. When I got trained, they said, because a lot of these coaches, these games depend on their job. So, we always have to be professional with them in high school. And now in rec ball, that's volunteer. They're not getting paid. So they got to get, pretty much what they can get. But they still have a meeting with them to let them know that, hey, we're not going to have this in. And also, to the directors over your youth sports also tell us, hey, don't put up this foolishness, throw them a flag, and they do back us. They do back us. The rec program that I do, they do back us. And that's one thing that I do like about it. But the thing comes about is, like I say, it all starts with the coaches. It all starts with the coaching staff.
Hey, Coach Lowry.
It all starts with them.
Coach Lowry,
Yes.
let me jump in here. Attorney Jackson, there is some legislation already in effect that is supposedly to protect referees. But then when we research a little bit further into this, it talks about the bigger issue. The law may already exist, but the real problem is from an enforcement, sideline behavior, weak league discipline. And I think we kind of alluded to that when we talk about, is there just meetings taking place, or is there actual training where you have to sign off that you receive this type of training to understand how to de-escalate, understand how to control your players, understanding how to, in as much as you can, because I mean, you don't want coaches going into the stands or, but these games, and Coach Lowry, let me ask you this. Are the games that you referee, is there a requirement that law enforcement is present?
Yes, at the high school level, yes.
Yeah, but not at the
there's law enforcement present at all times. But when you're on the field, this is just me. I can't speak for everybody. When you're on the field, my mind is locked in on all 22 kids or my area or where I'm supposed to be at. And see, what the thing about it is, a lot of coaches really don't understand what's really going on. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Okay, I'm the white hat sometimes. That means that's the head ref. Okay, if we got a play going to the right and it's a holding on the backside 10 yards down the field, that play right there don't even much count. It's nothing. But now if the play comes back round that way and it's still holding on the offense, now we have a flag. And see, that's some of the things that, people in the stands and some of the coaches don't understand. And it's all about judgment and what you see and how you see it, and different things like that of that nature. And what we have, it's a hard job for what we have to do and what we get paid, because say like we got a 7 o'clock kickoff, they want there at the school at least by 5:45, because we actually do a pregame like colleges do. We actually do a pregame. So we might say, okay, we go over the kicking game, we go over special teams, we go over run plays, we go over pass plays, we go through over all this right here before we actually get on the field. So now we get on the field, then we have to do another pregame. That means we got to go to the coaches. Hey, coach, from the home team to the visiting team, you got special plays, this, that, and the third. We have a spiel to go to. The other guys, they have to make sure the change is set, make sure the field is conditioned. So once we hit that campus and put on their uniform and go on the field, we constantly working. And it doesn't pay a whole lot, but I do it for the love of the game and love to be around the kids. For prime example, the varsity football pays $125 a game. JV don't pay but $86. But look how many hours we are out there on the field and trying to make it correct for everybody else. You got some guys get off and leave their job, don't eat anything, come straight to the field. And that's sad, because I do the same thing myself. And then we get there, we get heckled, and then you got a lot of people just come to the game just to heckle the officials.
Yeah, I know those people. I know those people. Yeah.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you this. If you know anything about Let's Talk Nation, Greg, Doc, and my objective is to get results. So if I were to ask you, if you were to make some recommendations to legislators to improve the conditions that you're working in, and maybe you might not have those answers right now, but it's good to be thinking about what kind of recommendations would you make that would make a significant difference in what you see right now. Anything comes to mind?
Yeah, yes, a whole lot comes to mind. I don't too much, I look at it on the coaching aspect. Because like I say, I coach. And I know when the coach trying to bait me in for a call, and I know when the coach don't want to listen. I get that. But what gets me is when you have these parents wants to attack us as referees, that's why I draw the line at. And I think it's a punishment for them. I think it's like a felony charge. But guess what? It need to be stricter laws, because now we need to be protected time we leave the field till we get in the confines of our car and going on out that gate. It is too many times, especially in rec ball, too many times where people are getting upset about a call that they don't like. Just a couple of years ago, a man got shot in the parking lot at Austin Tender about a 6U football game. A 6U football game ain't gonna mean nothing to this little kid in the next 2 days. Why? So now We got to be in the heat of the battle. Oh, we hear this and, oh, ref, I know where you park at. I know this right here. No. So now we on pins and cushions all the time trying to lead the field because why? A parent don't like what we call. He don't like what we did.
Yeah.
And that's not fair towards us as an official. But we still have to be respectable. But then in time we say something back to the coaches, now we are wrong.
Yeah. Well, Coach, listen, we appreciate you starting this conversation, and I know that we're going to continue this conversation again. But thank you for bringing these things to light. And Doc, did you want to throw something in?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So listen, thank you.
I agree with him. And it's a much larger societal problem. Not to minimize what they go through, but it's plenty of places where folks are not held accountable for this type of behavior. I mean, it's a game,
Yeah. At the end of the day, yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, but the question that I have is this though, how does that affect the way that the refs call games after they're threatened like that? And maybe that's something that when Coach Rock comes back on to talk to us about this, and we have some thoughts about some ideas about things to do, because there's laws already out there, but apparently these laws are not deterring people from doing the things that they're doing on the field and continuing to threaten people and things like that. So that's the one thing that we probably want to get into and question. How does that affect how they call the game?
Let me ask this question, because this piggybacks on that. Why is it that the law seems to no longer be a deterrent to a lot of antisocial behavior?
But here's, I'm gonna jump in on this one, and I don't think that it's not a deterrent. Here's the example that I would give. Greg, Doc, y'all remember when, and I go back to Governor Jeb Bush days, when he instituted 10/20 life.
Yeah,
there was some serious marketing across the state of Florida from the perspective, every time you looked up, you saw a commercial that said 10 years if you have a gun in the commission of a crime, 20 years if you shoot that gun in the commission of a crime, and life
if you kill somebody.
If you shoot or kill somebody. That was, I mean, they put money into educating the public, and there was supposed to be some research on if you saw those numbers go down. So I think when people are not in the know, when they don't know what the consequences are, you better believe people know about this driving over 100 miles an hour now.
Yeah. Listen,
you're right. Listen, I was zooming this weekend and I did 90, but I ain't hit that 100.
Because now people know you do not get a pass if you go 100.
No, they're not playing. They are not playing. Hey, and listen, I'm known for getting on I-4 and doing my thing. I have ceased.
Hey, the advertisement.
Yeah, Greg got that race car too. So
yeah,
listen, man, I learned my lesson through other people. Hey, when they took Sha'Carri Richardson to jail over speed, I was like, they for real about this thing.
Hey, they are for real. So did I make my point? Yeah. Did I make my point about marketing?
Yeah.
If they market about threats and things of that nature on these coaches, you'll see people understand, whoa, maybe I'm getting a little bit too hot behind this. Maybe I better back up.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a very interesting topic. Something that we see. I mean, we see too many news stories about, coaches and refs and players in altercations. And it's something that definitely needs to be done and something taken seriously.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Hey, Brother Jackson, Doc, I want to just hit a little bit more on the assassination, because that's made the news.
Well, so because we got some comments about that. Y'all see, I was quiet. I was intentionally quiet when talking about this, because I feel some kind of way about it. That this seems to be to me, it comes across as a wag the dog scenario.
One of the things, and thank you, Miss Riley, and I don't know if anybody, I know a lot of people are familiar with Miss Riley, headed Orange County Corrections some years back, and she's still involved in community, still involved in different correctional agencies. But she mentioned that Secret Service trains a lot more intense than regular law enforcement. But she also mentioned the fact that, and you could see on that video where you saw, and I don't know if that was Secret Service or who that was firing guns at this guy, and I don't believe, based on the reports, that those guys that we saw hit this guy, but he was hit by. I mean, he was shot by law enforcement, wasn't he?
Nah, it was one law enforcement officer that was shot in the vest.
So this guy, the perpetrator, wasn't shot at all.
Listen, this is what I can't do. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I cannot fault law enforcement in situations and circumstances like this. I don't care how well trained you are. That situation was crazy.
Yeah,
and that was a crazy situation. And you're talking about a small target. You're talking about a moving target. You're talking about a target that's running between people, because it's not like he was running between people and whatever. So that's a crazy situation.
So you got to think about other people.
Yeah, you got to think about all that's going on. This is not just somebody that's running down an empty hallway and going, and this is somebody that's running into a crowd of people with multiple weapons on them, a small target at that. I listen. I can't call it.
People were asking questions because you saw the pictures of this guy laying on the ground. From the angle that they were showing, he didn't have a shirt on, but what was later on reported was the fact that law enforcement stripped his clothes off of him to make sure he didn't have any weapons.
Yeah,
and you saw him wrapped in some kind of
weapons or bombs, or anything like that. I mean, you don't know what a person that does that. Yeah. You have no idea what else they're carrying with them.
Yeah, and a handgun is nothing more than an extension of a knife.
Yeah.
At the 10, 12 feet, you're right. It's hard to hit a moving target and an evasive target with a handgun. It's not as easy as people think.
Yeah,
you're right. But you know what? I think all of us have said, and Greg, you continue to emphasize it, and Doc as well. We don't want to see this at all. But what can we do here on Let's Talk Nation to push the envelope to condone what we're seeing as it relates to political violence?
Condone it?
I mean, not to condone. I'm sorry. Condemn it.
Hey, maybe I have been going a long time. What the heck?
Hey, Doc, I'm glad.
Doc, what you did to him, man?
My friend called it. But to condemn political violence, because you're seeing some talking heads that are saying, hey, we want to make sure that you understand our position. But then, like you mentioned, Greg, you have some folk out there that are kind of stoking the flames.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, it's kind of funny. We're having this conversation this weekend. My wife and I, we went to McDonald's one morning, and we met a couple, two white families from Dublin, Georgia, and we were sitting in there like we got to talking, and it was like we were neighbors for years. I mean, we were laughing and all of that kind of stuff. I didn't feel any animosity. They had no animosity towards me. But when we get on social media, all of a sudden we got this racial divide that it seems as if America is hopeless in that we don't see each other as people. And I think that's the messaging is the problem, because a lot of it is being fed online and people are believing it, and that's not the reality. Because I when I go out, I don't have the N-word called at me. I'm not saying I've never been called that, but I've never been in that situation where it's been about a racial stereotype with me. I'm just saying with me. It's always been about behavior and character conduct when I have a conflict with somebody that's of another race. It ain't got nothing to do with color. Mm-hmm. And we've got to start dialing this back. This is, Trump is our president. We don't have to like him, but we have to respect. I would say we have to respect the office in which he resides, because the majority of the people elected him to be that, whether we like it or not. He is the president. Afford him that. Afford him the basic respect of being in the president. It has nothing to do with his behavior. It's about your behavior. How do you comport yourself in regards to that? But we have so much animus online and in the media now. People just feel that they can do stuff and get away. It's the same problem with the refs. what he was talking about. People think that they have the right to do something and there won't be consequences.
And Doc, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, whether it's Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, they're our president, period, point blank.
Yeah.
And so not only do we respect the office, but, you know, you got to respect human life too.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And you know, when I hear people make comments along the lines of, you know, this is Trump's fault. I mean, really and truly, when you hear people referring to Trump as Hitler or as Satan, you know, when you put that type of language and that type of hate on someone's name, and I think that Brother Burns has said it best when he talks about aggression management. Whenever you want someone to be looked at in a bad way in society, you label them as something. And think about how much
you dehumanize them.
Yeah,
you take
think
their
about
humanity away.
Yeah, and think about. I mean, listen, and they have a right to say whatever they want to because you know it's their First Amendment rights. But think about the number of Democrats who have referred to this particular president as Hitler or as Satan or as a fascist. And so, if you're saying that, all of society, regardless of who he is starting to think, well, this guy's a fascist. Somebody needs to shoot and kill him. When did it become okay for people to say that anybody should be shot and killed?
You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
it fair is turnabout play because we as Democrats get called socialists and communists by those same Republicans that complain about fascists. Stop calling us fascists. We'll stop calling stop calling us socialists and communists, and we can kill the fascist label.
Wait. Hold on. You compare apples and oranges right now, Doc, because name for me one socialist who has been responsible for the death of 4 million people. Did he freeze? Is he frozen? I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to think.
You can't think of anybody. A socialist.
Not 4 million, but there has been socialists like I think Mussolini.
Mussolini
I'm
was
not sure how many people.
He wasn't socialist.
I can't speak off the top of my head. You know, I hate doing that.
But Mussolini, the things that Mussolini did was in the context of war. And
I know.
Listen, war is a whole other game.
Hey,
but when you talk about Hitler, that was straight genocide. And when you refer to someone in the vein of Hitler, I mean that's come on now.
I'm not saying the Hitler label is. I'm talking about fascists. Not the Hitler label. That's those.
But I'm saying, but no. If we're gonna put labels on it, I mean the labels have to match. So let's say we match.
But Hitler wasn't the only leader that was a fascist, so we can't just say it's fascism. Because Hitler was not the only leader that was fascist.
So now remember now, it's the Democrats that call Republicans fascists.
Okay.
So
socialists.
I'm trying to think.
Well, man, while y'all doing that, let me put my foot on the gas. And Doc, come on back into the screen. There you go. But you know what? Because I want to go a little bit of rapid fire because we got some good stuff here. Hey, Greg, the Virginia election. I mean, and that.
So last week Virginia had an election to redraw its congressional lines in order to offset what took place in Texas.
And that was a close election.
That California had also voted to redraw its congressional lines, and apparently in a very close election. In the state of Virginia, they have voted to redraw their congressional lines, which would make it more beneficial for Democrats in the upcoming election. Now, the problem is, even as they were going through the election, the question was, is this going to stand in the courts? And the very next day, after this election, a judge stepped in and said, I'm putting the kibosh on that.
And Greg, correct me, Doc, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do recall just from all the media responses to it, is that redrawing the lines could actually place one Republican in the state, in the state of Virginia.
Yeah. But the problem is though, they're doing this 5 years too early.
Oh, because of the census.
Yeah, they're doing it 5 years too early. Now, I just read earlier, though, that the U.S. Supreme Court has authorized the pro-Republican voting map to go forward. So I think that Virginia may have a point there. But what that's going to do is that's going to cause a reaction in other states to now want to redraw their lines. Because guess what? Now there is talk about a special session being called here in the state of Florida for us to redraw our lines to increase the number of Republican seats, congressional seats.
But y'all do know that
the judge ruled that the language was ambiguous and misleading.
Yeah.
But this is taking place all over the country, but it initiated and it was started, I believe, out of Texas.
In Texas, yeah. Yeah. And then California weighed in and they changed their congressional lines. And so Virginia said, all right, so we got some extra seats in California. Let's get us some extra seats over here also. This is all, listen, when people say that the electoral college doesn't matter, this gives you every bit of proof that the electoral college matters, because the votes that they are manipulating are the votes that will be cast as a part of the electoral college.
So this is just the beginning, I believe.
Well, yeah. But we have to see how the Supreme Court, because this is going to become a Supreme Court. Well, my understanding is that this judge has now said that they cannot certify that election or that vote, The Supreme Court of Virginia is going to weigh in, which my understanding is that they're also going to say that it was not constitutional based on the Virginia Constitution. And now the U.S. Supreme Court may be asked to weigh in to determine if this is the same or similar to what happened in Texas.
Okay,
and frankly, I don't know.
And I was going to keep you in your wheelhouse, because you're right. The Supreme Court, it looks as though they're going to reinstate the pro-Republican Texas voting maps, right?
Right. So now, somebody, and that, I'm assuming that somebody might be me, is going to have to take a look at the Virginia issue and weigh it against what happened in Texas to see if Virginia actually has some ground or some footing to say, hey, you can't treat us differently from Texas. But there may be something with the language that I just haven't looked at yet, to where Virginia's may not be constitutional.
So General, where does California stand? Because, I mean, was that a voter initiative, or was that?
And that is being challenged also.
Okay.
Yeah, that is still being, well, my understanding is that that's being challenged also. So we'll see. But California is way more liberal than Virginia. Because remember, this passed very narrowly in Virginia.
Very
in California,
narrowly,
it was almost like a foregone conclusion.
And of course, you mentioned, and is that the session that's going to take place tomorrow for the redistricting?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
That's my understanding. Yeah. So to make a determination if it's something that can go forward.
All right. So, hey, there you have it. I mean, we've talked about Texas, we've talked about Florida, and also Virginia.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's still going to continue to come. Okay, Greg, I know.
So just imagine if Georgia weighs in on this.
But Georgia, is it predominantly?
Listen, that's right now. They are. I mean, it's almost a purple state. For all practical purposes, it's almost a purple state. Now, it swung Democrat in 2020, and it swung back Republican in 2024. And so it's almost like a purple state.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. We hey, let's talk about the governor's race, because we're going to run out of time. But I got to say this.
Yeah, the governor's race.
We were having conversation about legislators being in office for a duration of period of time. And we just recently had, I can't remember the Georgia representative that was running for re-election. And unfortunately, sad to say, he passed away. I believe it was last week. But here's the thing that everybody's talking about. He was running for his 13th term. He was 88 years old.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to become a major topic. And Greg, I don't know, can you legislate years
yes,
in office?
we need term limits, and we need age limits.
Listen, listen. If the question is, can you legislate the number of years that a legislature serves or the number of terms they serve? Sure, you can.
Yes, but
they should.
So, but what about the age part?
I mean, listen.
Yes, you got an age to qualify for office. Why not an age to dequalify you for office?
But on the other side of that, people have been having conversation about competency test versus age limitation.
I'm not getting to this conversation with y'all, man. I'm not going down the road.
Hey. It's a lot of old fools, okay?
I ain't doing it.
And age don't listen. Look at Mitch McConnell. Look at Mitch McConnell.
I mean, listen. Look at Strom Thurmond. Look at
Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Look at Maxine Waters.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Do I think that there are people
at the nursing home?
Listen, do I think that there are people in Congress that most certainly need to go somewhere and sit down? Yeah, I most certainly think that. The unfortunate thing is that that's really and truly up to the voters as to whether or not they should return. And if these voters continue to send these geriatrics, excuse my French, back to Congress, then you get what you deserve.
Get what you deserve. You're right. Hey, these two areas, I want us to make sure we cover them. The race for governor of the state of Florida. Either one of you.
Listen, the question is, who's going to step up to challenge Byron Donald? Because right now, it appears to be a foregone conclusion that he is going to get the Republican nomination to be the candidate for governor here in the state of Florida. And the question is anyone on, I mean, I know that the lieutenant governor, has the lieutenant governor officially announced this yet?
I believe he did. I believe,
okay.
Yeah. I believe he did.
And you just haven't heard a whole lot from that. On the Democrat side, I know that Jerry Deming's name is still floating around somewhere, but Jolly's name is still floating around out there. But who's really and truly going to step up and challenge a Byron Donald? I just don't know who that person is on either side of the aisle.
So Greg, for the Democrat, you have David Jolly and you have Jerry Deming.
And you have some others, but I mean,
those are the two. Okay, right. On the Democrat side, but then on the Republican side, you're right. You have Byron Donalds, the Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. And then you have the former Speaker of the House,
John Morgan.
Well, listen, John Morgan every election cycle says that he's going to do something. I mean, but listen, he's a marketing genius. Of course, he's going to say.
But leave us a little time, Rod, there to hit something close to home.
We got 7 minutes left, so that's the governor's race. We got the mayor's race next. So
we can say the mayor's race.
Okay, so you can say that.
Yeah.
So then y'all go ahead and.
Yeah, Doc, what you got to talk about?
Let's talk about this continuing issue of Orange County and Central Florida in general with all these task force. You know,
We're going to talk about that.
I know what Doc is talking about exactly.
No, because again, last week,
what you talking about?
The state's attorney office decided that they're going to do these task force. Now, I remember back when they had all those shootings in Pine Hills, they had this task force get together and they started rounding up people and they say, oh yeah, we made 40-something arrests or something like that. Well, come to find out, all 40 of those arrests were already warrants. And they knew where the people were and they went and scooped them up.
But
so
I'm gonna take it.
How are these task forces doing anything without any real actions? Why keep forming task force and never implement anything that output from the task force? I remember somebody did a task force a few years back, and not a damn thing was done from it.
Hey, and I'm gonna take a chapter directly out of Attorney Jackson's playbook, and that is if you go back to 2016. The Apopka Task Force on Crime, when you looked at a comprehensive response, and then you can fast forward.
Well, because I'm gonna jump on Doc's coattails on this one, because the difference between the task force that you're talking about and the task force that Doc is talking about is Doc is talking about a task force that these political people are putting in place. The task force in Apopka was community-driven and community-based that pulled in elected officials, but it was a community-driven initiative that really and truly spoke for the community at large.
You're right.
So that's
exactly. And here's the thing: these task forces, at the end of them, there are work product that's presented that's never acted on.
Executed.
So what if you're not going to ever implement anything that comes out of it? Why have a task force?
Doc, I think this is a good cue if you want to run that 1 minute piece you got.
Yep. I want to show it. I want to show it because and think about this. I want the audience to really intake the message here.
The real question is not how many meetings we hold or how many task forces we create. The real question is simple. Is our community getting better? Are neighborhoods safer? Are families stronger? Are young people getting real opportunities? Orange County has already studied this problem in 2016, 2020, and again in 2023. We do not have a shortage of information. We have a shortage of execution. Meetings are not solutions. Reports are not results. And another task force is not progress unless it leads to action. The public deserves answers. What was done? What was funded? What worked? What failed? Because every delay has a cost. Families are waiting for safer streets. Young people are waiting for opportunity. So the question is not whether we can form another task force. The question is whether we will finally act on what we already know. The real question is not how
You hit that on the head, Doc.
So here we go. It's almost a chicken and the egg. It's almost a chicken and egg. We know what needs to be done because we already got a plan. So we'll skip over the plan and go back to making another plan because the plan we made was never utilized. Nothing was ever done to show an outcome. There's no data because there was no implementation. So how do you know to do another task force? Why are you going to do another task force? Crime is still criming.
And you know what? And Greg, Doc did it tonight. I mean,
but I think in my mind, the real people who this question needs to be asked to are the communities where these task forces are being held, and why aren't they holding these elected officials responsible or accountable for what they're doing? Because you're absolutely right. There have been task force, and the one in 2016 in Apopka was a fantastic task force that actually came with real answers and results-driven data, and nobody acted.
I have seen this
pattern.
pattern.
What recommendation was acted on?
Yeah.
I have seen this pattern my entire life, and I'm not exaggerating, y'all. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. This is a Central Florida problem. We get people to do all these meetings and hold this and hold that and next thing you know, I'm going to my buddy's award ceremony because I was on the task force and all this, and I get a trophy and all of this stuff. How I'm out for the community, and the community still look like hell.
But Doc, I think you hit it on the head. But I think you hit it on the head, and Greg, you hit it as well. We were very involved in direct engagement. I mean, we spent 7-8 months on the 2016.
Yeah.
But I think here's what has awakened us, because we've been directly involved in it. But what we realize is having a meeting is not the solution.
Right.
The execution after you develop the response is the solution, the execution. And that is where we see things are faltering.
Yeah. So
and you're right. So we have to see that. I guess until there is some measure of accountability on elected officials, they're going to keep doing the same thing.
Well, I think just having this discussion right now is probably going to wake some people up.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you this. I think that we've done this in the past, and I think that we need to start flexing our muscle a little bit more as Let's Talk Nation, because we've shown that whenever we come together, we can make some changes. And if we can identify that there are people in elected office that aren't accountable and not willing to be held accountable to the people that they're supposed to serve, we need to get more vocal in communities as Let's Talk Nation, and make sure that we do get people in those offices that can serve. Because right now, you have people in elected office who have no fear of the things that they do or lack thereof.
You're right. You're right.
And so, listen, we need to remain vigilant. We need to remain vocal so that if they're not doing the things they're supposed to do, they understand that there are consequences to their actions.
Absolutely right. And I'll say this from where I sit. I do believe that we have individual government bureaucrats that are not impacted or affected by the decision that they make that directly impacts communities that are in need.
That's right. That's true. True statement.
So,
and let me say this one last thing. And here's where it in lies the problem with me. Many of these people seem to take a commentary like we're making as a personal attack. And it's not. That's not who we are. We're pointing out specific issues that need to be addressed, that are real. This is not about you. People run around too much and holler about, well, they don't like me and all that. I can care less about you as a person. I'm not attacking you. What I'm saying and speaking on behalf of the community, the job that you're doing, you're not doing it in a competent, effective manner. That's job performance. That's not you as a person or your character. I can care less what you do off duty. But when you're out representing the people in your job that want results, you need to be able to provide results or go sit down.
And I think what we're saying here collectively, and Doc, thanks for bringing that up. I think what we're saying is it's time to raise the bar and increase the level, Gregor, what you're talking about, increase the level of accountability.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people are going to start to see Let's Talk Nation in some places that they think we should be in anyways, and being very influential in ways that we know that we can be, that you all don't know, but you will soon find out. And that's all I'll say.
On that note, I'm going to say, Doc, General, you don't have to go home.
But you got to get out of here.
We'll see you next week on Let's Talk Nation.